Okay, well here we are at the Paris Air Show, and we can see a few trends perhaps that are emerging compared to previous years. In the Paris Air Shows of 2 and 4 years ago, for example, we saw a proliferation of UAVs, both larger and smaller ones. Now, if you're going around the halls, you can see a proliferation of counter UAV systems, mostly geared at the smaller type UAV, mini UAVs, UAVs with a very small cross-section that fly low and slow in amongst ground clutter, and so increasingly companies are developing solutions to counter those in airports, in borders, prisons even, where small UAVs have been used to bring in contraband. Mostly for the civilian market, we're talking about soft kill measures in these systems, where you're effectively jamming the command signal to the UAV. Obviously on the military side there's more of a hard kill solution, which can involve light, smaller missiles or frangible air-burst ammunition. There are a couple of new aircraft that are very interesting to us at Jane's at the show. Most notably the Embraer KC-390 is making its debut at the show. And also the Lockheed Martin LM-100J, which only flew for the first time in May. Meanwhile, Lockheed Martin are now offering a production version of the C-130J for export, dedicated to Special Operations Forces, which is the first time they've done that, and that's going to be costing in the mid-$80 million. Initially it comes in a basic ISR variant, but that can be ramped up with weapons such as a 30mm cannon, Hellfire missiles and outer-wing hardpoints, and also various aerial refueling options, both to take on fuel and to distribute it. You can basically scale it up according to your budget. I would imagine that the Brits probably can't afford that one, but it might see a decent market in the Middle East. Lockheed Martin believe that there's the market internationally for up to 100 of these. If we think about what people were saying about the F-35 in past shows, certainly back in the past where there weren't enough of them out there, there was still a lot of criticism about the F-35, how much it cost, of course, but whether it really would be capable and whether it could replace the kind of aircraft like the F-16 and the A-10 that did very good jobs in their own missions. The F-35 was deemed to be perhaps the kind of aircraft that would hit none of those bases and do none of those jobs as well as the original aircraft. Well, now at this show we have users actually briefing on how the F-35 is actually working, most notably General Davis, who is head of aviation for the US Marine Corps, and it's clear that the US Marine Corps absolutely love this aircraft, and he will have more of them sooner than anything else. Other than that, of course, the Paris Air Show is very much a civil affair, and if we look at some of the most esoteric offerings out there, I can certainly see a proliferation of very small helicopters. In particular, one called the Shorefly, which seems to be a kind of a scaled-up quadrotor, the kind of thing you'd get on the commercial drone market, except it's been scaled up. It's got 2 seats. And quite frankly, it's exactly the kind of thing that I would have wanted in my back garden when I was about 7 years old. Apart from that, the overlying trend at Paris is it's very, very hot.